Wake Up Cleveland starts now.
Josh Gordon is gone. The Browns announced they're releasing the wide receiver officially Monday. And the Cleveland Indians clinched the division for the third time in a row. The Tribe beat the Tigers 15-0 last night to win the Central Division and head back to the playoffs in October. Go Tribe. And Tropical Storm Florence is expected to weaken into a depression soon, but flash flooding and major river flooding are expected to continue across portions of the Carolinas. Good Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Allison Bruner. Let's begin with a live look outside on your Sunday morning as you're waking up, enjoying that nice cup of warm coffee. Meteorologist Jeff Tanchik joins us. Another hot and humid day, but we might be getting some rain as well from Florence.
Yeah, look at that shot right there. And by the way, it has weakened to a depression.
Okay.
So it is a depression. Right now, still producing a ton of rain. I mean, it's just epic, the rain totals here and the flooding as expected. This thing is still moving very slowly here west at 7. The center of the storm is in South Carolina right there, and eventually it is going to track north and is expected to give us some rain coming up tomorrow, okay? But we don't think the rain's going to get out of control here. All right, now let's zoom in here on the Wilmington area where we're dealing with heavy rain still, over 30 inches of rain in some places, and now into Charlotte, North Carolina, Florence, South Carolina, are seeing record amounts of rain and flooding. And there you see the clouds associated with Florence, now finding their way up I-70 here, and it is moving north. So clouds will be increasing from south to north, and you'll see it right there. The moisture from Florence will sneak in here by tomorrow afternoon. So we think the heaviest rain south and east. This thing is going to be tracking east of us. So we're going to miss out on the flooding rains anyway. I'm going to have the details on that my next time out here. In the meantime, some visibility problems west of Cleveland with some pockets of fog. It is warm and humid. We go from 68 at 8 a.m., 76 at 10 o'clock in the morning. Big jump in temperature, 80 at noon, 83 at 2 o'clock. So it is going to be quite warm and muggy out there. And here you see on Precision Future View that quick jump in temperature. We were mid-80s yesterday. We're going to be mid-80s again today, and I'm going to bring you the latest forecast on how much rain we're going to get from the remnants of Florence here as we roll along on Wake Up Cleveland Sunday morning. Allison, over to you.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, the Cleveland Orchestra suspended principal trombonist Massimo La Rosa as part of an ongoing independent investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct. You'll remember back in July, the orchestra suspended concertmaster William Purcell after allegations surfaced against him. Purcell remains on suspension. We're told that investigation is ongoing. Remains found in an Akron backyard Thursday evening are now identified as a missing woman. 54-year-old Martha Freiting disappeared in July. The Summit County Medical Examiner's Office will do an autopsy to figure out the cause of her death. Police charged her boyfriend, David Callahan, with murder, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. A Richland County couple is set to appear in court Wednesday for leaving their baby at a bar in a car seat overflowing with human waste and maggots. According to the Mansfield News Journal, Richland County Sheriff's deputies arrested Zachariah and Brittany Ramali. The 9-month-old baby girl was taken to the hospital severely malnourished with diaper rash so bad it was bloody. Cleveland 19 news time is 7:04. A local woman is telling Cleveland 19 her neighbor is a squatter living without electricity and plumbing for years. As a result, he has been using her toilet, her house even as a toilet. Victor Williams is asking questions this morning.
Why do we have to live with human feces in our backyard?
It's a question Cleveland resident Odetta Filtz and her daughter have been asking for quite some time now.
He was dumping it in the garbage cans, and now he's taking it out back and dumping it by the fence.
They claim their neighbor who lives in one half of the home right next to their East 55th Street home has been dumping human waste for years.
It's horrible, especially on like a really, really hot summer day.
Yeah.
You can smell it just coming out of the garbage cans.
And it's not the only problem the family has had since living in the home.
You can't even see the ceiling because it is covered in roaches. They have bed bugs.
Field says that she and her daughter could tolerate the roaches and every other potential code violation that their neighbors were allegedly doing next door. But once they started dumping human waste, that's when she said that she had enough.
It's not even a smell you can get used to. It's contaminating the whole neighborhood. The smell is awful.
So we decided to try and get their neighbor's Richard's side of the story. He tells us it's something he's not too proud of.
That odor does travel. If you put it on the ground, it will travel the whole neighborhood. And I don't want to poison the neighborhood.
But he says it's the best he can do since he and his wife are sick and can't afford to make ends meet.
No electric and no running water.
I even asked him about other problems he's been having. How are the roaches here?
Which kind?
He's facing an eviction in a few weeks, but in the meantime, Field's concerned about getting him help.
Why are we letting our senior citizens live like this? I don't understand.
Victor Williams, Cleveland, 19 News.
We do know she contacted several organizations in an effort to help her neighbor. However, she says her city councilman has neglected to do anything about this situation. Right now, the Ohio Supreme Court is considering whether the sentence of a Cleveland couple convicted of failing to obtain medical care for their special needs daughter who died is too long. The court agreed to hear an appeal after a local appellate court vacated the 10-year sentences of Randy and Carissa Jones. Doctors said Tia died after an abscess on her ankle led to a staph infection and other illnesses. She only weighed 64 pounds when she died. Checking out news across Ohio right now. Let's start in Toledo this morning. Police arrested a 17-year-old boy in connection with 2 flare gun shootings that injured 2 people. Last Sunday, a 36-year-old woman said 6 young men attacked her in her car at a gas station. Police say the second shooting happened when a 16-year-old boy was walking along a street. 2 young men approached him and one of them shot him with a flare gun, we're told. Both victims were shot in the face. This morning, they both continue to recover from their injuries. Cincinnati police and fire recruits are being quizzed about their sex lives on job applications. The Cincinnati Enquirer reports the application includes questions about applicants' quote, most unusual sex acts and how many times they've had sex outdoors. The city says the questions are meant to evaluate their character. In Columbus this morning, the Ohio State Fair ended its contract with the New Jersey company that operated a ride that killed a man when it broke apart in 2017. The decision came just days ago when 19-year-old Jennifer Lambert died from her injuries on the Fireball ride that you just saw. 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell was also killed in that accident last year. Days after gas explosions occurred at dozens of homes here in Massachusetts, some people are now being allowed back into their homes this morning. The blast left 1 person dead and forced evacuations in parts of 3 towns, while hundreds of workers check homes right now. An energy company employee also says there's an Ohio connection.
We know that there was a pressure increase indicated at the pipeline controller's console in Columbus, Ohio. There's a control room where the pipeline controller is for this pipeline, and there was a pressure increase noted at his console. Certainly we will interview that pipeline controller.
Columbia Gas will develop a timeline of events going back 3 weeks and look at the odor complaints from the public to see if there was an increase in the number of those complaints. Josh Gordon is out and the Indians are in. Plus, Ohio State may have changed the rankings a bit last night. Your morning sports report is next on Wake Up Cleveland. Jeff?
All right, Allison, wow. It's going to be a beautiful morning out there. Cleveland, there is your always on left-hand part of your screen, 70 at 8 a.m. for you, 11 a.m., 78. Right now, current temperature is at 70. Some pockets of fog out there as well, but we are tracking the rain from tropical depression now, Florence, and how it's going to impact our weather tomorrow. First alert details on that when I return.
Live from Cleveland's News Center. Driven by Don Joseph Toyota in Kent. This is Cleveland 19 News.
Welcome back. Cleveland 19 News Time, 7:13. Josh Gordon gone in a flash. The Browns releasing the wide receiver officially tomorrow. Mark Schwab has Gordon's reaction after he got the news.
After the Browns announced yesterday that they would release Josh Gordon on Monday, the Browns receiver took to Instagram to reach out. He said, quote, "I am extremely honored and blessed to have been able to grow up and start a life amongst such a passionate and motivated group of individuals. It's been a hell of a journey with you guys. I wish all of you nothing but the best. Thanks to the Cleveland Browns organization." Gordon showed up to the facility yesterday with a new hamstring issue. Sounds like that may have happened 2 nights ago at a function that was not team related. The tailgate crew will have much to say about this. Tony and the guys get started at 11 here on 19. The Indians blew out the Tigers yesterday 15-0, and that clinched the Central Division for them. 3rd year in a row, they are headed to the playoffs.
Our goals are bigger than this, but it shows what we can put together over 6 months, and it's the first step is complete, but we hope to get a lot more t-shirts and do this a few more times.
We go out there in February 27th, whenever we get there, February 20th, and we have one goal, and that goal is to make it to the postseason and make it deep into the postseason. And we got one goal achieved. We still got a long way to go. There's still at least 3 more celebrations, God willing, and we'll see what happens.
They'll send Shane Bieber to the mound today, and since it's the day after clinch day, he can expect an array of backups playing behind him.
Ohio State scored 3 touchdowns in a 4-minute span to go ahead and stay in a 40-28 win over Texas Christian University. The Buckeyes went 3-0 in their 3 games without suspended head coach Urban Meyer. Defensive tackle Jermon Jones had a 28-yard interception return that put Ohio State ahead to stay. Wow. Mandatory evacuations are underway across parts of North Carolina. Entire communities are being flooded by rain from Tropical Depression Florence. The storm is now being blamed for at least 12 deaths. Courtney Zabowski reports.
Florence is showing no mercy to North Carolina. The slow-moving storm has virtually stalled, dumping relentless rain after making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane.
It's pretty deep. It's scary. There's cars already going under. There's people freaking out.
Water is rising fast in the northeast part of the state, leaving entire communities flooded in Jacksonville. People trapped in their submerged homes have been rescued by boat and helicopter. Anthony Loved watched as the water crept up to his front door. He says he wasn't taking any chances.
You see the water coming in, it's like, okay, are we going to stay here and get wet, or are we going to go ahead and leave?
Officials here in Wilmington are asking evacuees not to return home just yet to give crews enough time to remove downed trees and restore power. This grocery store opened early this morning, just in time. People here have been running out of supplies.
Well, we were prepared. We had a lot of supplies and stuff, but you can only buy so much ahead of time, and then you know that there's certain things that you're going to run out of.
Gasoline is also in short supply. Drivers waited nearly an hour to fill up at this gas station. In Cumberland County, authorities are going door to door, telling residents to leave after issuing a mandatory evacuation. Officials say the Cape Fear River may crest above 62 feet.
We're talking about flooding that has not been seen to this degree, potentially, since 1945.
Another 1.5 feet of rain may fall before the weekend is over. Courtney Zabowski, CBS News, Wilmington, North Carolina.
And nearly 1 million homes and businesses there are without power right now. And some of that rain you were talking earlier is going to actually hit our area.
Yes, we are going to get some of it. I don't think it's going to be, a devastating situation for us here, but we are expecting some rain. Some models give us hardly anything, and other models about a ½ inch in Cleveland, but heavier south and east. All right, now this is the latest on the track here, and you can see I put it on here. This is the yellow line. That's where the center of now tropical depression Florence is right now, but it's going to start to curve into eastern Kentucky here tonight. hit southern Ohio and then make the right turn to the east. Now, this is not going to be a favorable track for us to get real heavy rain, at least the majority of the area. But here you see the clouds on the increase. Right now we are clear. Areas of fog. It is 70 degrees in Cleveland. Sandusky 70 as well. Akron Canton 67, Mansfield 67, Worcester at 64. And there you see quarter mile viz in Elyria with the fog. Okay, so starting out foggy in parts of Lorain County and also Erie County. Everybody else, the visibility is okay. Warm and humid the next few days here, including today. Remember, this is a tropical system coming at us, so it's going to have tropical air with it. So that means it remains on the humid side. All right, here's Precision Future View, and it'll be a sunny to partly cloudy sky here today. Temperatures in the 80s during the afternoon. The only exception would be with an east wind off of the lakes. In Dusky, you'll be a little bit cooler. And for the most part, dry tonight. Notice how clouds continue to increase. Now watch what happens tomorrow. Here's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Here's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is when that rain from the remnants of Florence will make their way in here. The heaviest rain will be between Canton and Youngstown. All right, and check out the rain forecast. This will take us through the day tomorrow and tomorrow night, where it is giving, you know, Warren, Canton over 2 inches of rain. Youngstown, but look at Cleveland, 1/10 of an inch. So it's going to be a sharp cutoff, we think, from the heavy rain to the lighter rain. 72 9 a.m., 78 at 11, 82 at 1 o'clock. Akron, Canton, you're up to 84 today with increasing clouds and waves around a foot out there on Lake Erie. Pretty nice out there on the water. Here's your most accurate forecast. 85 forecast high today. Rain and humid tomorrow. 76. That rain spreading in here from south to north. And then it's back to pleasant stuff. Near 80 on Tuesday. 82 on Wednesday. Sunny. 85 on Thursday as temperatures remain warmer than normal. Front on Friday will bring us some scattered storms and windy conditions, and 78. Allison.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, coming up, you're going to actually meet Davidson. He's just in from South Carolina, part of the evacuation from Florence, and he's looking for a home. We'll explain right after the break.
He is a really nice dog, though. He's just
Adopt a Pet. Sponsored by Foot Solutions. Rejuvenate your soul.
It's time for our Adopt a Pet segment brought to you by Foot Solutions. Today we're joined by Greg Willie from the Friendship APL in Elyria. We actually have Davidson here. You brought a dog from actually South Carolina who was impacted by Florence.
Yeah, so this is a crazy story. So earlier this week, people were anticipating the storm coming, and a lot of coastal shelters and island shelters were trying to get animals out of the shelter before the storm hit.
Right.
And this was one of them, and a group down in Tennessee had agreed to take on some of these dogs. My feeling is that that truck that left South Carolina left with a lot of dogs, and he was one of them. And when they got there, the shelter just didn't have enough room for all the dogs that were on this truck. So these dogs were, on Friday, they were just sitting in a truck with nowhere to go. So the network started rolling, and it got all the way up to Elyria, Ohio, where they were saying, hey, do you guys have any room for any of these dogs? And we said, yeah, come on, bring up as many as you need. And then so we have 6 there right now and 4 in a temporary situation that will be coming in as well once these guys find homes. So this one is Davidson. I fell in love with him immediately.
So cute.
He rode in the front seat all the way from Knoxville, Tennessee on the rescue truck. And then when we picked him up late last night, he actually rode with me on the front seat all the way back to the shelter.
He's really calm.
He is really mellow. He's about 2 years old. He seems housebroken. He seems very food motivated. He sits, he gives paw. He seems like a very nice dog. And just going to be one of those dogs looking for a home and with a great story along the way.
All right. Davidson, you want a home, don't you? Somebody out there is going to take you home today. I know it. So what do folks need to do if they want to adopt Davidson and the other dogs?
So they can definitely come down to our shelter today. We're open from 11 to 3:30. Come down, take a look at all the dogs we have available for adoption, or they can go to our website, www.friendshipapl.org, and check us out there as well. And this was serendipitous because we have our Harley-Davidson poker run today, Harley-Davidson poker run today. So when I saw this dog with the Harley-Davidson collar on, I just knew it was kind of meant to be. A little serendipity.
He's adorable. And poor Davidson, he didn't have a home in South Carolina. He was actually rescued from them. Yeah.
So he was a humane seizure, which means their humane officers had to intervene on his behalf. We don't know exactly the whole story of that, but for whatever reason, he had to go to the shelter. So, yeah, he's had a rough go of it now, and you can just tell he's kind of, exhausted from this very long journey, so a lot of driving around.
All right, Davidson, you're going to get a home. We posted all the details. Just head over to cleveland19.com, also our Cleveland 19 mobile app. Davidson, Greg, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Keep you posted when he gets home.
Thank you. Well, Gordon is gone in a flash. We look back at his career with the Browns and examine his troubled past. It's all coming up new this morning. I know. It's all about sports for our Wake Up Roundup this morning. The number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes took down the number 15 Texas Christian University Horned Dogs in Texas last night. Ryan Day's final game as acting head coach was a signature win of his very brief stint. The Buckeyes outlasted TCU 40-28. The Texas-style showdown will likely carry enormous college football playoff ramifications when the committee begins to release those rankings.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out, and the Cleveland Indians are Central Division champions for the third year in a row.
Woohoo! Our Cleveland Indians are officially headed to the playoffs, but they still have games to take care of in the regular season. The Tribe takes on the Motor City Kitties at 1:10 today. Go Tribe. And Josh Gordon took to Instagram after receiving word he was cut by the Browns. He said, quote, "I'm extremely honored and blessed to have been able to grow up and start a life among such a passionate and motivated group of individuals. It's been a hell of a journey with you guys. I wish all of you nothing but the best. Thanks to the Cleveland Browns." There are reports of Josh Gordon re-injuring his hamstring at some kind of promotional event. ESPN reports teams are trying to trade for Gordon. They probably won't get much, but they might as well try. Either way, the Browns finally did what many felt they should have done a while ago. Mark Schwab getting answers for us this morning on Gordon's goodbye.
Not only was this bound to happen at some point, it needed to happen, and it had to happen soon for this organization to move on. Year after year after year, we have gone on and on with this ridiculous conversation that always started with some variation of, if Gordon comes back. Not only is that absurd, it's embarrassing. What other organization would be held hostage by this guy? Yeah, they're terrible. There have been a lot of terrible football teams that got things turned around by not relying on the most unreliable person in the NFL. John Dorsey finally did what others did not have the guts to do, a one-strike-you're-out policy that he actually stuck with. The Josh Gordon circus came to town in 2012 as a supplemental pick. He had to go into the supplemental draft because he was supposed to play at Utah that year, but he had to leave the school because of his drug issues, and he went pro. 2012 was the only year in the NFL where he played in all 16 games. It was really the 2013 season where he exploded. After missing the first 2 games because of what would become an annual drug suspension, Gordon exploded to lead the league with over 1,600 yards, and he had 9 touchdowns. That was the last time he was truly amazing. Since then, he's played in 11 games with 2 touchdowns. 11 games since the 2013 year ended. If a guy had a knee injury for 5 years in a row, nobody would be talking, "Hey man, I can't wait for that 6th year." But for some reason, that is exactly what this town has done with Gordon. There was seemingly always that next chance. And look, this needs to be said, it really does. You can simultaneously root for Josh Gordon to get his life together and root for the Browns to move on from him. I am not picking on Gordon by calling him unreliable. It is a statement of fact. He is a football player that does not play in football games. He needs to go and get himself right, and I hope he does. Just not at the expense of the Cleveland Browns.
The Tailgate crew will discuss this more in depth. Tony Zarella and the guys get your NFL Sunday started at 11 a.m. with the best tailgate in town. Indians fans are probably still sleepy right now after celebrating the Tribe clinching the Central Division last night. Arcia New Yorker was at Progressive Field for, of course, that big moment.
Indians fans say from the moment the game began, they knew the Tribe would do it.
It's out of here.
The first 2 batters hit home runs. Fantastic.
And from there, the Tribe sailed on to beat the Detroit Tigers 15-0 with 3 home runs. Indians are the AL Central Division champs for the 3rd year in a row. Fans are ecstatic.
We're going all the way to the World Series, and we're winning in 5.
Oh, yeah?
My prediction.
I think it means a lot. You know, there's a lot of transition going on with LeBron leaving, but the Browns are coming back, and, you know, the Tribe's doing good. It's pretty awesome.
Fans all the way from the West Coast know the significance of this win, and they're calling shots.
Gladly clinched it, so we'll see them in the playoffs with the Dodgers.
Oh, Dodgers, is that what it is?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's this one, small in stature, but big in heart. Yay, we won! We did it! See you, New York.
Cute kid there. So the Indians are now waiting to find out who they'll play in the West Coast Division, Houston or Oakland. You're going.
Yeah, a lot of people think Houston. Yeah, and Oakland's going to be the wild card, probably playing the Yankees.
Right.
And then Boston, of course, is going to win the East. So, yeah, should be interesting. Houston's tough.
Yeah.
Good pitching there in that series. All right, let's take you out to the game this
Home run
afternoon.
Forecast.
Yeah, it is. Where are the sun sauce out there this afternoon? All right, mostly sunny, 82. It's going to be warm and humid. All right, here's the latest on Florence, now tropical depression. So it's not so much about the wind, but you know, the main theme with this storm, when we look back on the history of this here, is going to be the slow-moving nature. This is exactly what happened last year with Hurricane Harvey that devastated the Houston area. It's doing the same thing now in North and South Carolina, especially North Carolina here. Some spots will get up to 40 inches of rain. Still a tornado watch here, so you can get little spin-ups. The center of Florence is near Columbia, South Carolina, but you still have the moisture, the heavy rain, even some lightning here still ongoing in Wilmington. And here's Charlotte, very wet scene here down to Florence, South Carolina. We're starting to see the clouds creep north, and eventually I am expecting you're going to see the rain move in after 8 a.m. tomorrow. It doesn't give us much. This is a high-resolution model. It doesn't give us much in the Cleveland area, but Canton, Youngstown, over towards Pittsburgh, that's where the heavier rain is going to be, because the thing is going to be tracking east of us. So that's not a favorable track for us to get heavy rain, at least the majority of our area. Quarter-mile viz in Elyria, 3/4 of a mile visibility in Sandusky. 84 the high today. Sunny to partly cloudy sky here. 68 8 a.m., 10 a.m. 76. 80 at noon, and low to mid 80s, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock this afternoon. Whew. It is going to be pretty warm out there. All right, the latest on Florence and what happens after Florence passes us by. Allison, over to you.
Thank you, Jeff. And just a reminder, you can keep to date on the weather conditions on your mobile app through the Cleveland 19 mobile app. Remains found in Akron have been identified as a missing woman. 54-year-old Martha Friedag disappeared in July. Police charged her boyfriend, David Callahan, with murder, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. The Cleveland Orchestra just suspended principal trombonist Massimo Las Rosa as part of an ongoing independent investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct. You'll remember back in July, the orchestra also suspended concertmaster William Purcell after allegations surfaced against him. He remains on suspension. We're told this investigation is ongoing. Sebring's former water plant superintendent pled no contest ahead of his trial for failing to notify residents of high lead levels in drinking water. James Bates entered the plea Friday. He was sentenced to 200 hours of community service and a $500 fine. An Ohio Assistant Attorney General said Bates' failure to notify Sebring residents for 7 weeks about high lead levels didn't cause substantial health risks. Bates came under scrutiny in 2016 when Sebring schools closed and pregnant women and small children were warned not to drink tap water because of high lead levels. Rain on your wedding day. It's supposed to mean good luck, but when one South Carolina bride saw the storm forecasted for her wedding day, she wondered if her luck had run out. Greg Adeline from our sister station in Columbia, South Carolina, brings us the happy ending.
While Florence dumped rain outside today, inside First Baptist Church in Casey, flower girls dropped rose petals down the aisle. And while a few dozen friends and family were on hand, seemingly high and dry, watching Tara and Rick Humphreys get married, there were very few dry eyes on this wedding day, especially from the officiant, Tara's aunt.
It was wonderful. When she came through the door, I turned her to her now husband. I said, Rick, I'm going to be the one that cries.
Despite the unfavorable forecast, Tara and Rick determined theirs would be a ceremony even Florence couldn't frustrate.
We just made a decision earlier in the week. I mean, we were going to do it regardless, rain or shine. So
No power or power. We were still going to get married today.
Like in any other wedding, this couple exchanged vows in sickness and in health.
To have and to hold.
In this case, you could add in high winds and high water.
We were thinking we might be doing this by candlelight, flashlights, but we were still going to do it.
Till death do they part.
Yes.
Oh, we already made that pact anyway.
A sweet reminder that even in the storms of life, love finds a way. Greg Adeline, WIS News 10.
In high winds and high water, we wish them the best of luck. Still to come this morning.
We're diving into a souped up mac and cheese, getting ready for Cleveland Eats. And Cleveland Cooks coming up.
In health news this morning, sugar-free diets are a big trend this year, but just quitting sugar is unlikely to improve our health. Cutting down on ultra-processed foods, eating more vegetables, and exercising will. The sugar-free diet is restrictive. Such foods as whole grains, blueberries, and grapefruits are allowed, while white bread, bananas, and raisins are not. Remember that health is not simply about a person's size, weight, or the foods we try to avoid. Fruit is your friend and a healthy alternative to sweets even. Tri-C hosted the Cleveland Eats Festival over the weekend. Chefs from all across the city served up savory small plates like Lucky's famous mac and cheese. Jen Pachano is making it in this week's Cleveland Cooks.
Chef Heather Havlin from Lucky's is with me. You're going to be cooking for this, right?
I am.
We're going to do some mac and cheese, but also we're doing a little adult applesauce here
absolutely.
too.
When the apples come in, we always give them a taste, and we adjust the lemon juice and the sugar according to how tart and sweet the apple is. I'm going to have you taste one because this is the good part about cooking. You get to eat things.
Pretty tart.
Right? Nice and tart. Not going to need as much lemon.
Okay.
It's also got a nice sweetness. I always tell my cooks, our goal is to be as close to a Jolly Rancher without it being that sweet, but that apple flavor that people love. Regardless of how tart it is, I always add a little bit of lemon juice. Then on top of that, we are gonna add some white sugar. And I just like the warmth of brown sugar.
Yes.
And that's just gonna sit in the back. Eventually, the apples will completely break down. At about 45 minutes, you'll take the lid off. You wanna adjust for sugar, acid. I always put a touch of salt.
All right, now the main event,
Yes,
if you will,
absolutely.
is the famous mac and cheese from Lucky's.
Yep. Start with a hot pan.
Okay.
We're gonna add cream, kosher salt, and a pinch of black pepper, and then a couple pinches of smoked paprika.
Nice. I feel like everything that comes out of the Tremont area has a little bit of smoked paprika in it.
I would, that sounds about right.
It's fair,
Yep,
right?
Yep. So I'm looking for the cream, for the bubbles to actually meet in the middle.
Okay.
That is, at that point, we've had enough of the liquid will have evaporated off because we want it to thicken.
Sure.
So we're just waiting for all that to go away. In the meantime, around the perimeter, so it doesn't take down the temperature, I'm adding just a little bit of sour cream. It adds really nice texture to it.
Okay.
That's Parmesan.
Okay.
And then some chunks of brie.
Ooh, I'm never sorry when that is added into something.
You and me both.
Yes.
Okay, then add the pasta.
Okay.
You want it to continue to reduce. You don't want to it's really important that you wait to add the pasta otherwise, because the pasta's already cooked. I'm going to add the cheddar cheese.
So the white cheddar?
Yep, white cheddar.
Okay.
And then a provolone mozzarella mix.
Did you like undercook the pasta or al dente, or just by a hair, or what?
Absolutely. We just keep a teeny bit of bite left in it.
Sure.
And then we know that the rest of it is going to, it'll cook in this, and then it gets cooked in the oven. So you literally want to
rapid fire like that?
Yep.
Okay. And
then
you're keeping it on the heat then?
Yep. Keep it on the heat, and like the last of the cheeses, you don't want them to break. We're gonna pour it directly in the pan. We make our own brioche bread in-house, and so we top it with some toasted brioche breadcrumbs. And then I'm gonna throw this in the oven. I'm gonna put this one in. And this is the one that we did just a little bit earlier.
To finish off the applesauce after this kind of broken down, you use a food mill. Can we try that mac and cheese?
Yes, it is time. And again, you want to keep in mind, it's like a little bit of applesauce on your spoon.
I see how that works.
Good.
I would never do that.
Yep.
And I like the crispy top of it.
Yep.
Oh, the gooey part underneath. I like the sour cream touch too.
You like that?
You're kind of a mac and cheese genius here.
Genius, thank you.
Looks delicious. If you love to cook and you want to see your food on TV, just post a picture of something you've made and be sure to include the recipe in the text and hashtag Foodie19, and you could be our next feature. Now I'm hungry. She always makes the most delicious things in these Cleveland.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know about the apple though with
It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
I'm sure separately they're really good.
Well, they make it, so I'm sure it sells well.
Exactly.
All right, let's bring you up to date here on Florence, and now it's a tropical depression. And you know what a tropical depression is here, guys? It's basically just an area of low pressure right now, but still producing a ton of rain. That's, going to be the main thing with this. We had the hurricane force winds as it came on shore Friday morning, and now it's just devastating flooding taking place here through most of North Carolina, especially the eastern part of North Carolina. The track will take it into eastern Kentucky, and then it's going to turn on the right blinker. That's not a favorable track for us to get heavy rain unless you're in the Canton area and south. That's where we could be looking at some heavy rain, the southeast part of Ohio. Right now it is sunny, some pockets of fog, especially in Lorain County this morning. 70 in Cleveland, Sandusky 72. Low clouds and fog there. And then you see Worcester at 64. Quarter-mile visibility in Elyria. So, watch out here. Parts of Lorain County, Erie County. This fog will start to lift after about 9 a.m. And one of the reasons for the fog is this. I mean, it's still humid, and it's going to be that way throughout the day tomorrow as the tropical system comes in and even into Tuesday. In fact, most of this week coming up, it looks like it's going to be pretty humid. So we're going to see lots of sunshine today. Tribe game, any of your Sunday plans. We're going to be in the mid-80s here for temps. Clouds will start to increase more tonight. Here you see it coming in. And then the rain from Florence. For the most part, it's going to be south and east. That's where the heaviest rain will be. And then you get west of Cleveland, you won't see much rain at all from this. So how much are we talking here? This is the latest computer model guidance. About 1/10 of an inch only in Cleveland, 2/10 in Mentor, but right here, Canton, Youngstown, potentially over 2 inches of rain, especially in the Youngstown area. We will be monitoring that closely. Right now, no flood watches are in effect. 10 a.m. 76, 82 at 1, and 83 at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Akron, Canton, your forecast high at 84. And out there on the lake, you have waves only around a foot out there. It's going to be a light east wind. All right, so check it out. Tomorrow, we're going to be monitoring the rain on Wake Up Cleveland tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30. I'll be here to monitor that situation. By Tuesday, this thing is out. In fact, the rain will be ending Monday evening. Partly cloudy Tuesday, 79. Sunny on Wednesday, 82. 85 on Thursday. Stays pretty warm. Cold front Friday, scattered storms and windy. We'll be watching that. And 78. All right, we have a new adopted dog right now.
That's right, Jeff. New this morning all the way from South Carolina. We're going to introduce you to Buttercup. She's adorable. She came all the way from South Carolina, and she needs a home, of course. She was brought here because of the aftermath from Florence. We'll explain right after the break.
Adopt a Pet. Sponsored by Foot Solutions. Rejuvenate your soul.
Good morning. Kathy Bell from the Friendship APL in Elyria joins us this morning. Thanks for waking up early with us. She has Buttercup here, adorable. She just arrived from South Carolina. She just arrived in town yesterday,
Last
right?
night. Yeah, it was a community effort to get some of these dogs that didn't have a place out of obviously all the tragedy that's going on. She is absolutely fantastic. I love this dog. She's a 1-year-old Plot Hound mix. She rides great in the car. She loves hugs, kisses, and all that good stuff that goes along with happy dogs.
She is ready for a home. And
She absolutely
you say
is.
she's about 1?
About 1 year old. So she still has some of that puppy energy. She's a little jumpy, but I don't think she's going to knock anybody over.
No,
she just really wants a hug. Yeah.
She's calm right now. So what do we need to know if we want to adopt Buttercup?
So she is ready to go home. If you stop at the Friendship APL, she will go home, spayed, microchip, vaccinated. It's same-day adoption, so you could go home with her today if you fall in love with her. She just wants a hug.
And you guys have several other dogs from
We
South
do.
Carolina as well,
Yeah.
right?
So there's going to be 10 in total, all looking for a home.
She wants to dance.
She does.
Here we go.
She wants to dance.
So you guys have about 10 dogs up for adoption?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and just talk about how you guys first got in touch with the folks in South Carolina. That's awesome that you guys were able to rescue
Yeah,
some of
so
those
as Greg said earlier, what had happened was there was a transporting of some of these dogs out just to get them out of the way. The rescue that they ended up originally going to go to was full, so we stepped in and made space for all these dogs.
Awesome. And you guys are open today from 11 to 3?
3:30.
3:30,
Yes.
okay. So Buttercup, she's ready to find her forever home, right?
She is.
Yes.
And
Oh,
many
she's
other
so
dogs.
precious. Yes. We post all the information on cleveland19.com, also on our Cleveland 19 mobile app. But again, we met Davidson earlier, now Buttercup. Anything else you want to just share about these dogs that you guys just got from South Carolina?
Honestly, a lot of them, they seem very sweet. So I would say if you have a dog, bring it to the shelter to meet them, bring your kids. I think all of these dogs are going to go very fast. So if you fall in love with any of them, I'd say get to the shelter shortly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. A celebration day for several teams in our area. We are talking sports still to come on your Sunday morning. Just got the mic cord. 19 news time is 8 o'clock. Let's get a look at sports. Josh Gordon is gone. The Browns announced they are releasing the wide receiver officially Monday. Cleveland Indians clinched the division for the third time in a row. The Tribes beat the Tigers 15-0 last night to win the Central Division and head back to the playoffs in October. Go Tribe. And the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes took down the number 15 Texas Christian University Horned Frogs in Texas last night 40-28. That will likely carry enormous college football playoff ramifications when new rankings are unveiled. A local woman is telling Cleveland 19 News her neighbor is a squatter living without electricity and plumbing for years. As a result, he has been using her house as a toilet. Victor Williams is asking questions.
Why do we have to live with human feces in our backyard?
It's a question Cleveland resident Odetta Filtz and her daughter have been asking for quite some time now.
He was dumping it in the garbage cans, and now he's taking it out back and dumping it by the fence.
They claim their neighbor who lives in one half of the home right next to their East 55th Street home has been dumping human waste for years.
It's horrible, especially on like a really, really hot summer day.
Yeah.
You can smell it just coming out of the garbage cans.
And it's not the only problem the family has had since living in the home.
You can't even see the ceiling because it is covered in roaches. They have bed bugs.
Field says that she and her daughter could tolerate the roaches and every other potential code violation that their neighbors were allegedly doing next door. But once they started dumping human waste, that's when she said that she had enough.
It's not even a smell you can get used to. It's contaminating the whole neighborhood. The smell is awful.
So we decided to try and get their neighbor's Richard's side of the story. He tells us it's something he's not too proud of.
That odor does travel. If you put it on the ground, it will travel the whole neighborhood. And I don't want to poison the neighborhood.
But he says it's the best he can do since he and his wife are sick and can't afford to make ends meet.
No electric and no running water.
I even asked him about other problems he's been having. How are the roaches here?
Which kind?
He's facing an eviction in a few weeks, but in the meantime, Field's concerned about getting him help.
Why are we letting our senior citizens live like this? I don't understand.
Victor Williams, Cleveland 19 News.
Odetta Fields contacted several organizations in an effort to help her neighbor. However, she says her city councilman has neglected to do anything about this situation. Right now, the Ohio Supreme Court is considering whether the sentence of a Cleveland couple convicted of failing to obtain medical care for their special needs daughter who died waited too long. The court agreed to hear an appeal after a local appellate court vacated the 10-year sentences of Randy and Carissa Jones. Doctors said Tia died after an abscess on her ankle led to a staph infection and other deadly illnesses. She only weighed 64 pounds when she died. A Richland County couple is set to appear in court Wednesday for leaving their baby at a bar in a car seat overflowing with human waste and maggots. According to the Mansfield News Journal, Richland County Sheriff's deputies arrested Zachariah and Brittany Ramali. The 9-month-old baby girl was taken to the hospital severely malnourished with diaper rash so bad it was bloody. Checking out news across Ohio right now, let's start in Columbus. The Ohio State Fair ended its contract with the New Jersey company that operated a ride that killed a man when it broke apart in 2017. That decision coming just days ago when another victim, 19-year-old Jennifer Lambert, passed away from her injuries. 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell was killed in that accident last year. Toledo police arrested a 17-year-old boy in connection with 2 flare gun shootings that injured 2 people. Last Sunday, a 36-year-old woman said 6 young men attacked her in her car at a gas station. Police say the second shooting happened when a 16-year-old boy was walking along a street. 2 young men approached him and one of them shot him with a flare gun. Both victims were shot in the face and are recovering this morning. Cincinnati police and fire recruits are being quizzed about their sex lives on job applications. The Cincinnati Enquirer reports application includes questions about applicants' quote, most unusual sex acts and how many times they've had sex outdoors. The city says the questions are meant to evaluate their character. Now to the latest on the aftermath of Florence. By the time the rain stops, we are told she will dump around 40 inches of rain across North Carolina and far northeastern South Carolina, according to the National Hurricane Center. Some other parts of South Carolina could see rainfall totals of up to 15 inches. Natasha Chen reports North Carolina's governor warns the danger is far from over.
Deadly Florence slowly crawls across the Carolinas, bringing devastating flooding and relentless rain.
Powerful torrents of water are flooding homes, wiping out roads, and sweeping away cars in North Carolina.
Communities like New Bern, North Carolina are now underwater. The rivers are already rising from the record rainfall, and many waterways are not expected to reach the highest levels for another couple of days.
This is not over. All the water upstream has to come downstream. We are doing all we can.
Thousands are under new evacuation orders as people who live in these communities escape to higher ground.
The river's coming up into our property.
Yeah, we've been moving beds, linens, clothes, as much stuff as we could to get it out, so we won't lose it.
We know it's time to go. It's already up in our yard.
Emergency officials say people may encounter walls of water even when Florence eventually subsides.
We're in a situation that is progressing and has us extremely concerned when it comes to the threat to life safety of citizens here in Cumberland County. We do believe that there will be a worst-case scenario.
That was Natasha Chen reporting. It's amazing how much rain they've gotten.
Yeah, it's going to be north of 30 inches in some places, and I do have a bit of breaking news as well. The in Lubberton, North Carolina, all right, which is located right around here, I-95 shut down. Because the river there has overflowed and they're at major flood stage, and it has gone across I-95 there, and that is obviously a major interstate there. As you can see, the rain continues, and check this out. You're just getting that continuous moisture feed here off of the Atlantic. So more heavy rain. The center of Florence is right around here, just northwest of Columbia, South Carolina. Eventually, it's going to track north, and here you see some of that heavy rain. Here's Wilmington. There's still a tornado watch, by the way, here. You can get little spin-ups with these bands, and now the rain's starting to pick up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Several inches of rain there and flooding. We're starting to see the increase in clouds, and watch out Canton, Dover, New Philly, over towards Youngstown. You can see some heavier rain from Florence coming up tomorrow. The majority of our area, however, will not get much in the way of heavy rainfall anyway, but you can see the moisture coming up after 8 a.m. tomorrow. But because this storm is tracking east of us, that is not a favorable track for most of our area anyway to get heavy rain. All right, the problem right now early this morning is the fog. We're down a quarter-mile visibility in Elyria, and look at that in Sandusky, less than a quarter-mile visibility. So areas of dense fog in Erie County and Lorain County. Got some haziness there in Worcester. Everybody else reporting good visibility. Once that fog lifts, everybody's going to be sunny to start things off here. We'll bring in some clouds later on in the afternoon. 84 the high, sunny to partly cloudy sky. 68 at 8 a.m., 78 at 11 a.m. here, and then up to 83 at 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. If only the Browns were playing at home today, it would be pretty warm out there. But the Tribe is at home, 82. The Central Division champs again, 1:10 first pitch, mostly sunny sky. Like I said, warm and rather humid out there today. Allison?
Thanks, Jeff. Right now, at least a dozen people are dead from a typhoon in the Philippines. Those who didn't make it, we know this morning, are an infant and another child who are among 4 people killed in a landslide. Officials tell us at least 2 other people are missing and that the death toll could climb to 16 once other casualty reports are verified. We are told about 87,000 people evacuated from high-risk areas and advise them not to return home until it is safe. Wow. Cleveland 19 News Time is 8:10. Freezing your credit may not protect you from identity thieves. There's evidence they can still get credit in your name. Dorothy Tucker is getting answers on how to protect our money.
You put a freeze at every credit bureau.
Yes.
Thinking what?
Thinking that my credit was safe, my identity was protected, and that nobody would be able to get a credit card in my name.
But an ID thief did get a credit card in David Lewis's name at this Home Depot and quickly rang up big bills at that store and two others.
That says that I owe them $6,200.48 for purchases I never made.
Lewis immediately contacted Fortiva, the company that sent him the bill in this new Home Depot Home Improver card, and asked,
"How were you able to issue a card in my name?" They said it wasn't their decision to issue a credit card, it was Home Depot's decision to issue the credit card.
This was actually the second Home Depot credit card the thief applied for. The first was denied because of a block in Lewis's credit file with Equifax. So in this case, the freeze worked. But it failed when Fortiva got involved. Its main business is what's called second look financing.
You don't want to disappoint anyone by saying no when they apply for financing.
It basically gives credit to people with less than stellar credit scores. But the real David Lewis has a near perfect score.
You froze it because you don't want credit cards open, yet they're still able to do that.
This is how a credit freeze works. It prevents new accounts from being opened by companies you don't do business with, but it allows those companies to get enough information to send promotional offers. Companies that you have a relationship with can review your files. This may be the loophole because it's unclear what transpired between Fortiva and Equifax concerning David Lewis. His credit report shows Fortiva contacted Equifax on May 26. 2 days later, the new account was opened.
I think we may have found a loophole in consumer protection laws that we need to close really quickly.
After our calls, Home Depot and Fortiva erased the fraudulent $6,200 debt. Fortiva removed the account from Lewis's credit file. Equifax called this a unique situation and said it has taken appropriate steps to ensure it won't happen again. Lewis remains concerned something similar could happen to others. Dorothy Tucker, CBS News.
A search of records from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found two similar cases in Georgia and Texas. Experts still suggest putting a freeze on your credit to protect yourself. You should also check your credit regularly by getting your free annual credit report from each of the credit bureaus. Well, still to come, we're going viral this Sunday morning. We're also taking you to the medieval times for Sunday Fun Day. We've got events happening across Northeast Ohio for man and beast, fun for the entire family. Still to come this morning. Welcome back, Cleveland 19 News Time, 8:16. There's a lot of events happening this weekend, and you want to check them out, especially today. Like Woofstock, it's going on at the Cleveland Metro Parks Polo Fields. Woofstock is the largest dog and family-friendly festival and fundraiser in Northeast Ohio. There's a cool canines contest and parade, a blessing of the animals, and of course, Rescue Row, where you can add another pup to your family. It starts at 10. They are adorable. The 73rd annual One World Day starts at 11 this morning at the Cleveland Cultural Gardens. Cleveland started celebrating One World Day in 1945 with a theme, Peace Through Mutual Understanding. There's a parade of flags, a naturalization ceremony, cultural performances, authentic ethnic foods, and things for the kids as well. Kick off Deaf Awareness Week at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. The whole place will be filled with student interpreters from Kent State University and Tri-C. If you stop by the Wild Wonder Pavilion by the carousel around noon, you'll learn some animals about their signs. Mention the promo code DEAF at the Zoo Box office for 50% off your ticket as well. And the Medieval Fest is going on at Mapleside Farms in Brunswick. You can step back hundreds of years into a time when kings ruled the land and knights fought for honor. The Harvest Barn will be open with bag your own apples and fresh apple cider. Pumpkin Village will also be there as well. Sounds good. You may not have your artwork displayed on the walls of the Cleveland Museum of Art, but every year you can at least present your masterpiece on their sidewalks at the Chalk Festival. It goes today from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. in the Fine Arts Garden. Local artists buy sidewalk squares for 10 or 20 bucks, depending on the size chalk painting you want. You can check out the artwork for free. Yeah, pretty good. And hopefully the weather cooperates. It looks like it will for them.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we did,
hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
Oh, yes.
So that's what I'd be doing if I was at that.
Oh, you still got it. You still got it, Jeff. Oh, or did you just hurt your leg now?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, good. You are on the clock right now. You're on the job, so we don't want any injuries, especially the bosses.
Yeah, good times for that here. We have lots of sunshine here, and we were saying while we're enjoying, I almost feel guilty, we're enjoying this beautiful weekend. Meanwhile, they're dealing with that just serious situation going on there in North Carolina. And as I mentioned, stretch of I-95 closed. The Lumber River, which is in Lumberton, North Carolina, at its second highest point of all time, the river level there. And that has overflowed into or onto the I-95 corridor there, that stretch. So that's shut down. This is the latest track. This is not a favorable track for us to get heavy rain. And in fact, I'm going to show you updated computer model information just in, and it even brings lesser amounts of rain for us. So we'll see if that trend continues. They do have rain in the forecast tomorrow, but right now it does not appear to be all that heavy. 70 in Cleveland, Sandusky, fog, and 73 Akron, Canton there at 68. Look at this. So we're down to less than a quarter-mile visibility in the Sandusky area. Also dense fog in Toledo. It's improved a little bit in Elyria. So I would say that stretch from Elyria to Toledo, you're going to get areas of dense fog out there this morning. Canton, there's your always on. You're going to be around 70 at 9 a.m. and then right around 80 at lunch. Look at the muggy meter. Not going down significantly anytime soon. Today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Remember, we have a tropical system coming at us, so it's feeding tropical air our way. Here's Precision Future View, and this is the update, okay? So we know we're going to see lots of sunshine today, dry tonight, and then tomorrow, check this out, after 8 a.m., there's the rain. Heaviest will be south and east of Canton. Does not give us much through the day. In fact, look at the updated rainfall forecast in our high-resolution in-house model. Yeah, a little over a half-inch in Canton, Youngstown, much less. Wow, it just gives us 1/100th of an inch here in Cleveland. All right, we'll be watching it. 9 a.m., sunny 72, 80 at lunchtime, 3 o'clock 83. and we're still in the low 80s late afternoon. Increasing high clouds, Akron, Canton, 84. And east winds 5 to 10 knots, waves only around a foot out there on Lake Erie today. We'll detail the 7-day here my next time out. Allison, over to you.
In the midst of the storm, how about a little joy? How one woman is inspiring those dealing with the aftermath of Florence. It's all ahead new this morning. Welcome back. After days of misery following Florence, some good vibes were felt in a North Carolina shelter as one of its residents sang to lift everyone's spirits.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come?
Kathy Yolanda Wright has been sheltering from the storm at Trent Park Elementary School. The 44-year-old is disabled and was rescued from her home. Her joyful noise to the Lord had the entire dinner line singing last night, which seemed to cheer up everyone, especially the children waiting out Florence in that shelter. Love it.
Yeah, you got to do what you can.
Yes. Making the most out of it.
Yeah, and some folks there will be without power and
so sad.
Utter devastation there. It's going to be, obviously, I don't know how long before they get back to normal there. All right, 84 high today. We will get in on some of that rain tomorrow. Right now, not expecting it to be too heavy. Stay tuned. 76, 79 Tuesday. Partly cloudy, still humid.
All right, thanks, Jeff, and thanks for watching Cleveland 19 News this morning. Joel Osteen is next, followed by CBS Sunday Morning. Yay.
Cool. All right, is that just weather? All right. Yeah, it's just me, Allison, so you're clear.
Okay. Do you have to work tonight, too?
No,
Okay,
no. Loftman's doing the night. No, I can't work tonight and tomorrow morning. You freaking kidding me? Oh, JL, he's our X Factor. Yeah. We need.
This is a Cleveland 19 News Update.
Okay, how's it going out there, everybody? Cleveland 19 News meteorologist Jeff Tanchak with you here. Lots of sunshine today. We'll go partly cloudy later on this afternoon. A little more cloud cover south of Cleveland. We're going to get in on the some of the remnants anyway from Hurricane Florence up this way here. Low to mid 80s for temps this afternoon. 82 at 6 o'clock. 77 at 8 o'clock. Another warm night. 75 at 10. And fairly humid out there as well. Now tomorrow, the latest computer models not giving us much rain. It will be heavier in the Canton area, Tuscarawas County over into Youngstown, but much lighter amounts Cleveland along the lakeshore and west. 76 will be the high and humid. Tuesday, we get rid of that. Partly cloudy, dry, 79. Still on the humid side. 82 on Wednesday with sunshine. Thursday, remaining humid and summer-like, 85. And then a cold front on Friday will bring us some scattered showers and storms. It'll be windy. 78, turning cooler by next Saturday.
Wherever you live and work and play, there are always small details and big issues that impact you and your family. Our family at Cleveland 19 News has a promise to listen to your questions and work to get your family answers.